It is clear to me that there are a lot of people in this country who are tired of both parties and tired of the systems. Duggan said in an interview on Tuesday, which he's not wrong. A lot of people on both sides, they're sick of both parties. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video, and I hope everyone is having a great day. I'm having a great day myself. And before I get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. These are all great ways to support the daily content, but enough of the promotional stuff. Let's get into it because we have breaking news out of the state of Michigan as Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan, a longtime Democrat, just announced he'll run for governor of Michigan, which, okay, on paper doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Like, okay, a Democrat's running for governor. What's the big deal? Well, he's not running as a Democrat. No. The mayor of Detroit, who in his last election got like 75% of the vote, just announced he'll run for governor of Michigan, not as a Democrat, but as an independent. Yeah, this is real. This is not some rumor. This isn't speculation. No, it's confirmed that, yeah, Mayor Mike Duggan will run for governor. It is clear to me that there are a lot of people in this country who are tired of both parties and tired of the systems. Duggan said in an interview on Tuesday, which he's not wrong. A lot of people on both sides, they're sick of both parties. Like, on the Republican side, let's be honest, if it wasn't for Trump, the Republican Party would be dead. No one would vote for any Republican in the year 2024 if it wasn't for Trump. It's a fact. Because people don't like the Republican Party. They may like people within the party, like Trump, like J.D. Vance and a select few, but let's be honest. The average Republican voter, they didn't vote in 2024 for the Republican Party. They voted for Trump. They voted for Vance. They voted for a select few. Yeah, some of them might vote straight ticket Republican here and there, but it's clear as day that a lot of Trump voters, they said, nah, we're not going to vote for, the Republican for this House race. He sucks, he's incompetent, like John Duarte. Just because he's a Republican, I'm not going to vote for him. I'm going to vote for Trump because I love the guy, but John Duarte, screw him. He sucks, he supports amnesty, no one likes him. Mike Duggan is credited by many for leading Detroit after it emerged from bankruptcy to become a thriving, more vibrant city. Who's writing this? Is this the Democrat Party saying, oh yeah, the Detroit's a vibrant city? Is it better than it was 10 years ago? Maybe, I guess. But even then, it's like, it's still not a vibrant city. Again, Mike Duggan, he might be popular just because he did improve the city a little bit, but to say it's thriving and vibrant, he formally announced his intentions in a video released Wednesday morning, but discussed his future before that with the AP. He hopes to succeed popular Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who, listen, I know she won in 2022 by 11 points? Yeah, she won by roughly 11. 2018 was about the same margin. But I've always believed that Gretchen Whitmer's popularity, it wasn't really real. Yeah, she might be, relatively speaking, popular, I guess, but Tudor Dixon was a shit candidate. And Gretchen Whitmer won in 2018 because of A, being a blue wave, B, the Republican Party in Michigan falling apart, and C, the Republicans running a shit candidate back then. So it's like, yeah, Whitmer might be popular, I get that, but I've always wondered, was she as popular as some Democrats claim she was? Like, does she really have this 75% approval that some people claim? She might be, at 55%, but I've always wondered, Gretchen Whitmer, did she win because of circumstances, or did she win because, oh wait, she's actually beloved in Michigan? Which we'll see in 2026 if that was the case, but I really don't believe Whitmer's as popular as some people claim. Again, that doesn't mean that she's hated or anything. It just means that, yeah, she may have a positive approval, but it's not by 70 points. The mayor's decision comes in the midst of a reckoning for the Democrats in Michigan, one of a handful of swing states that helped propel former President Trump to victory in November. The Democratic Party, which only 2 years previously had claimed the majority in both houses of the legislature for the first time in decades, suffered setbacks at the ballot box that left Democrats scrambling for explanations and path forward. And yeah, Michigan in 2024 was a disaster for Dems. I mean, it was Trump plus 1.5. He won it by 80,000 votes. He won it by a lot. It was not that close, and we knew early on in the night that, yeah, Trump was going to carry Michigan, and you look at places like Wayne County, Harris barely cracked 60% here. I mean, guys, This is awful. And I know you got Dearborn, you got Michigan, or I should say Detroit. I understand that, but she did awful in places like Wayne, Oakland, hell, even places like Kent County. She did worse than Biden in compared to 2020. She lost places like Saginaw. She did awful in Eden. She lost Muskegon counties. These are counties that voted for Biden back in 2020, but they flipped to Trump. So yeah, it was a pretty bad night for Democrats up and down the ballot. They barely won the Senate race by like, what, 8,000 votes. They lost a House race here. It was not a good night for Democrats in Michigan. And I would argue, if it wasn't for what happened in Pennsylvania, more people would be talking about Michigan as a complete disaster for Dems, because it was. It was an awful night for Democrats in the state of Michigan. Still, few would have anticipated the mayor of the state's largest city and biggest Democratic stronghold abandoning his party altogether, which should tell you everything. If the mayor of Detroit, who's a lifelong Democrat, we're not talking about some guy that was a Republican 20 years ago that became a Democrat 5 minutes ago and then flipped. No, this guy's a longtime Democrat. He's been in Detroit for like 12 years now as the mayor. He's relatively speaking well-liked. He won re-election by a bunch. The fact that he's saying, yeah, I'm done with the Democrat Party, should tell you everything about what happened on November 5th. I mean, this is Detroit. We're not talking about some deep Republican city. We're not talking about, you know, an R+80 city. No, we're talking about Detroit, Michigan. One of the most Democrat cities in the state of Michigan. Duggan said he felt that he could govern more efficiently as an independent. You have a state legislature that's almost evenly divided, that makes the stakes of each issue more magnified, he said. It has gotten harder and harder to address things as the partisan climate has gotten more toxic. In other words, the Democrat Party's in deep shit, they're incompetent, they're falling apart right now, they have no clue what they're doing, and the party as a whole is toxic to the average voter. When people think of the Democrat Party now, they don't think of the party of Barack Obama, like some do here and there, but they think of, wait, the last 4 years of failure under Joe and Harris? They think of people like that. They don't really think about Obama as much as they did 10 years ago, which again, people still know who Obama is, obviously, but people are more focused on the last 4 years, and people realize that, wait, the last 4 years was a complete shit show. Duggan also could be looking to avoid what is shaped up as a crowded Democratic primary field, and this is another big problem for Dems. It's not just they have, you know, a Democrat running as a third-party candidate from, you know, Detroit. It's the fact that the Democrat primary is going to be a complete shit show. The Secretary of State, the Lieutenant Governor, hell, Pete Buttigieg might be running for governor, which, by the way, funny enough, he just moved to Michigan like 2 years ago. He carpet-banked from Indiana to Michigan. So, there's a chance that the Democrat Party, they have a complete shit show in their primary. It's a complete mess. And you have the mayor of Detroit, Michigan, who's a Democrat, saying, you know what? I'm going to run as an independent in 2026. Now, will Republicans win this race? That's a big question, because this is a big deal. We're not talking about some random third-party candidate no one ever heard about. This is the mayor of Detroit, who won re-election by like 70 points. It was a blowout. So it seems like to be a serious candidacy from Mike Duggan. Now, does this mean that Republicans are going to automatically win Michigan? I would not say that yet. All right, we got to wait and see what happens, because we've seen this in the past where, oh, a former Democrat now turned independent runs for governor, runs for Senate, and a lot of people think they're going to do very good, but they don't. But this is a weird situation where the Democrat primary is a shit show, and we're not talking about some random mayor. It's the mayor of Detroit, the biggest city in Michigan. And he won re-election by a lot. If Republicans run a good candidate, and I'm not talking about don't run Tudor Dixon, do not run someone like that. I would be fine with even Mike Rogers or John James running. I know they're not the best on the issues, but if you run someone like that, and you factor in, wait, we have a major third-party candidate who undoubtedly is going to take votes away from Dems, like, seriously, who do you think he appeals to? He's going to appeal to more Democrats than Republicans, and the Democratic primary is going to be a complete shit show. So if Republicans play this smart, which that's a big ask of them, I mean, come on. The Republican Party, every time they have a gimme like this, they find a way and F it up. But there is a chance that, wait, if Republicans unite around one person like Mike Rogers, like John James, or someone similar, like, it doesn't have to be one of those two, but just someone decent, not a Tudor Dixon type, not someone like Christina Caramo. We want someone that knows what they're doing, that can actually win an election, and is not completely shit on the issues. So we'll see what happens, but I would support someone like Mike Rogers or John James, who I know they're not perfect, but listen, this might be a race where, yeah, you run someone like Mike Rogers or John James, who both of them have demonstrated in the past that, yeah, they can do good in Michigan. I mean, Mike Rogers, he lost by what? Like 0.5%? He didn't do that much worse compared to Trump. He really didn't. He lost it by like 1% or whatever. Trump won by roughly 1.5%. That's not the biggest split in the world. And especially for a governorship with someone like Mike Duggan running, it could be a scenario for Mike Rogers to win. Even John James in 2020, he barely lost to Gary Peters, who was expected to win by 50 points. So you got options in Michigan, but run a good candidate, unite behind them during the primary, and make sure Mike Duggan gets on the ballot. Because I think he can win. I really think, or I should say win, but I really believe that Republicans can win this race if Mike Duggan really runs, which he's confirmed he will, and gets on the ballot, and he runs a serious campaign. If he does that, he may not get 50% of the vote, but even if he gets 5% of the vote and the majority of them are Democrats, well, he runs someone like John James or Mike Rogers, who they demonstrated in the past that they can do good in Michigan, maybe, just maybe, it's enough for them to flip the governorship in Michigan for the first time since, I believe, 2014. Now, we'll see what happens because a lot of things could change, but the fact that the Democrat mayor of Detroit is saying this and saying, oh, both parties suck, people want a new choice, I'm running as a third party, that should tell you everything. That the Democrat Party, they have a branding problem. They have an image problem. People don't like the Democrat Party anymore. They don't think of Obama. They think of people like Joe Biden, which is not good, by the way. So we'll see what happens, but I find it hilarious that in just one day, we went from, Michigan Republicans, they may get close to 26, but they're going to lose, to wait. We actually have a chance to flip the governorship in 2026 if this guy runs a serious campaign. We'll see what happens, but it's looking good for Republicans in Michigan. I can't believe I'm saying that, but when you have the mayor of Detroit, who's a longtime Democrat, running as a third-party candidate, that's pretty good for Republicans. That means that, hey, we could actually win the race. And if we win the governorship of Michigan in a midterm, that would be amazing. But we'll see what happens. We're 2 years away from the election. A lot of things could happen. Maybe Republicans in Michigan, they run a shit candidate like Tudor Dixon yet again. Maybe Mike Duggan, he decided to drop out and back the Democrats. Who knows? But the fact that we're even talking about it now, hey, Republicans, if you're smart, you take advantage of this. Get behind one person like John James or Mike Rogers. Get behind them in the primary. Make sure no bullshit happens where Dixon somehow sneaks her way to the nomination, and run Mike Rogers or John James and hopefully win the Michigan governorship. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.